Alright, what's up guys? Shogi here, back with another video, and you are watching the final game of the finals match at the Call of Duty World Championship that was brought to gamers around the world by Xbox, and I think it was 6 continents represented. In any case, I brought this to you. I had the brilliant idea to record the final game. I just had to double-click the match I was watching it live over on Twitch.tv. And I know that if you have anything full screen on my computer, Fraps picks it up and gives you the option to record it. And I'll let you know right now that I will touch on the gameplay here in a second. Those of you who came here to watch it for the gameplay, don't worry, I'll get there. But I know a lot of you who are watching this don't know who I am because I have a pretty inactive 450 subscribers. And I do cut out every single clip of the audience because as this was recorded live and there were like legitimate cameramen there, and it was like a legit production, like 5 million views just for the semifinal round of Optic versus Fariko, and I'll touch on that in a bit. But I went through and edited this. It took me about, I don't know, 20-some minutes. It was like I was gonna say 30, but it was like a 20-minute long video. And I clipped it down to something like 16 minutes, and that's cutting out all the audience. There are just a few spots that I fast-forwarded through. One was at the very beginning, where guys are just standing in a single spot. And I did miss one audience clip. You got to see the audience. That should be the last time, though. But the first round went to Fariko, and I was kind of mad because I was really pulling for Envy here. Not just because Envy is one of the all-time like greatest Call of Duty teams. They've been around for a while, but also because Fariko beat my boys Optic, and I'm not an Optic fanboy like a lot of Optic fans legitimately are. But I've been a fan of Optic for quite a while, for the longest. In the second round, they start following Envy because they did a few interviews before the game started, or before the final round started, and they interviewed Nadeshot, and Nadeshot was like, I'm all behind Proofy, my boy Envy, and also because Rambo's on EnVyUs, and Rambo used to be on Optic. Rambo's a freaking monster. Rambo, I thought, was the best player in the game for a long time, especially during Modern Warfare 3. And right here, EnVyUs gets it back. I'll let you know right now that it gets up to 4-4. I won't spoil who wins until we get to the last round, because at the last round you'll be able to tell by the end of the video coming up. But it gets to 4-4. It's a really intense game, honestly. My heart was beating so hard. It was like I didn't have to work out today because my heart was beating so hard. And this is unscripted. I do a lot of unscripted videos here. If you're new to my channel, you can go check out a lot. Actually uploaded today, which is the 7th. By the time this is done rendering and processed, I'm sure it'll be like past midnight or so. And I'm about to get off spring break, so I need to finish up my homework too. But I decided to take time out of my day to watch the esports Call of Duty championships and record this and get this uploaded. And they start following Rambo Ray again, and he's down here. He's always checking out the middle. I think it's Proofy that is their objective player, the captain of the team. I think Parasite's the same way. I wasn't personally very familiar with all of the Parasite players. I wasn't even familiar with Smallville, I think it was, on EnVyUs. I was definitely familiar with JCap and Rambo and Proofy because I've been a fan of Call of Duty for a while, competitive Call of Duty. But Parasite is the captain of Fariko. Fariko is just a whole bunch of cocky teammates. They showed a lot of footage in between games, and I cut a lot of it out, but I kept some of it in between rounds. And I think we're coming up on the end of this round. Fariko, they beat Optic. As I said, I would touch on this. Fariko went up. They won the first match, which was Hardpoint, and Fariko doesn't lose Hardpoint, alright? They lost Hardpoint 2 times this tournament, and that was when they started their series yesterday against EnVyUs, when EnVyUs was up 3-2 in the series by the end of yesterday. EnVyUs had beat them 1 time of Hardpoint, and today, right before this, to get to the finals, EnVyUs beat Fariko on Hardpoint. I was going nuts in my room. I just ordered some food from a local Mexican restaurant, and I was going nuts. And I'm going to take a break from my story. Rambo pulled out a sniper. That is the first time in a long time I've seen Rambo with a sniper in his hand, because he is an Optic member. All Optic members can snipe, but that was the first time in the longest I've seen Rambo the sniper. And you saw he barely missed that headshot. I was pulling for him to get that as soon as I saw him pull that sniper out. And I think that's the last shot he takes with it. I think he pulls it out later to cock it, but At this point, Rambo is carrying the heck out of his team. He had 7 kills at this point. He died. He was 7-1 before his last death last round, and he got. I don't think he got one of his score streaks, but here I think he's about to get taken out before it goes to 2-2. But back to my the semifinals when it was Fariko versus Optic. Optic lost first round. It was hard point, as I said, and it went in the second round, and that was Search and Destroy. Forget the map, honestly. It's the one with the subway and the train, one of the MLG maps. And I'm gonna pause again. This is the play of the tournament right here. All right, what just happened was it was a Fariko play. I think it wasn't Killa. It was Karma. Fariko. Yeah, it was Killa. Killa was in a 1v2 situation, and this was honestly the play of the tournament. Killa threw up a nade. He was in a 1v2 clutch. He threw up a nade on the bomb, came around and dropped Smallville, I think it was. Small town, Smallville. I need to check again. But he dropped Smallville and dropped, I forget who it was on the bomb, picking up the 1v2 clutch, and that was honestly the play of the tournament. It really turned the tides of this match in this series. But Optic did win the Search and Destroy match, which put it at 1-1. And then it came around to capture the flag, and Optic actually ended up losing that, and they lost in hardpoint again. So I was really disappointed. I was watching that earlier today. That had to have been around 4 o'clock before I even knew that Fariko was going to play EnVyUs, because I didn't watch any of the footage yesterday or the day before. I was trying to figure out why they started the series yesterday before they knew that Fariko was going to play them in the finals. Because Fariko was down in the series 2-3, but they just played Optic to get into the final rounds. So the match started. I'd waited for like the hour intermission between Optic and Fariko and EnVyUs for this match to start. People were talking about how the series had already started, and I was honestly really confused because it didn't make any sense to me. Trying to think of what happens in this round. I do know that Small Town or Smallville, I'm just gonna call him Smallville because that was a show on was it Warner Brothers, their channel, the Superman show. My dad used to watch that a lot because he's a comic book guy. But Smallville, he makes a few misplays in this tournament, and a couple were early on, and I think he really dropped the ball this tournament, really this match. I can't knock him because a couple of the situations that I'm talking about are when he was the only one left on his team, so it was half of his teammates' fault for leaving him to die by himself. But when it comes to spectate him and I'm thinking about it, I'll let you know what I'm talking about when it happens, because one of the times is the final round, I'm pretty sure. And Rambo at this point, I think he does have 11 kills, I think it is. They talked about it with the commentary of the 2 codcasters that are here. But Rambo's about to get dropped. This might have been the time when he was 7-1 and just got the 7-2 death. I don't remember for sure, but at this point, Fariko drops the bomb on top of that the little, I don't know what you call it, like those gas tank or those tubes up there. This is one of the Smallville. I think that's what it says on the screen. Like the preview on Sony Vegas it's pretty small. I think his name is Smallville. This is one of his misplays. He uses his RC car too dang early, and he takes it to B when if he did use it, he should have taken it to A because he had a teammate watching B. So wastes his RC car. He has to detonate it because he has to get over to A where the bomb was planted, and he could use that RC car for much better purposes later on in this game. And Fariko, I do believe, is going to get the drop on them and take it up to 3-3. As I said earlier, it does go to 3-4. There's a really funny moment I have later on in here that I have edited in slow motion and such. At Smallville, here's another misplay. He comes at Fariko Killa, I think it is, with his knife. As much as Killa was a one-shot, freaking Smallville should not have charged him with that knife. He should have either reloaded, jumped across, and gone for a defuse, but that was not one of the better options, to charge him with his knife. And I said earlier that I thought Proofy was the bomb carrier, but it does look like Smallville. Is it Stainville? Gosh, I can't. I just watched this like all day, and I'm looking at the preview on Sony Vegas, and since it's like in 1080p, it's a little like grainy because I have it like resized smaller for the preview. But it looks like he was the bomb carrier and not Proofy. And then we just passed another one of the spots where I sped up just a little bit when they went to that mini map. And there are a few black frames here. When they were casting earlier, it happened earlier with Optic and Fariko. But while they were casting, black frames came on and off. It was worse when it was going like in and out of the audience in the game. Because at least with the black frames, you're not trying to like focus on the audience and the game. But the black frames came on when they were COD casting, and that was just error of the cameramen and the tech guys. I honestly also don't remember who takes it up to 4-3. Yeah, this was a pretty big play here. When it gets to 4-4, that's like the equivalent of like 2-2 in like the old settings, not MLG variant. Because whoever wins at 4-4 gets it to 5-6, and you really have a lot of momentum going into that game-winning point.
And let's see what Fariko can do. EnVy's got the 4-3 lead here. EnVy only 2 rounds away. If they can win 2.
And I did have to do my own commentating over this because if I used all of the original commentary of the live recorded codcasting kids, and I forget who was hosting it. I was on their channel earlier on Twitch, obviously watching and recording this. But if I were to upload this from my own channel, like I am, I had to use it for commentary, or else it would kind of be illegal for me to be doing it. Which is why I'm taking the time right now. I wanted to get it up as soon as I could, so I went and grabbed an iPhone 4S to use it as its microphone. We did just pass another moment where I sped up if you're confused. And as I said earlier, I did cut out a few things, which is why if you think you're missing a few frames of the game-winning kill cam, it's not just you. I did have to cut out a couple frames. And earlier I thought was where Fariko dropped the bomb on top of those things. That's what I was talking about right here. You just saw him die and drop it. And Fariko does pull this one out with a crazy double kill. And Stainville, yeah, it's Stainville. Stainville, here's where he really dropped the ball, right? It was a 1v1 situation against Fariko Killa. And Stainville thinks Killa can't get the bomb, as I said, because it was dropped up on those, like the tubes or the, like the gas lines. I don't know what you should call them, but Stainville ran away, and Stainville ended up paying the consequences. Here's when he lost, pretty much, I think, lost the game for him. Like his second or third misplay. He chases Killa into the tunnel when he had a clear run at that defuse, or at least he could have run away, waited a few seconds, because Killa had to chase him. I mean, obviously, you got to go back and check the bomb, just like we'll see in the very final round of the game. But Stainville really dropped the ball. He didn't stay at the bomb. He ran away. He thought he had it easy. And honestly, I might have thought the same too. But in this game, you really can't do that. He ran away in a COD Championships final game for $400,000 to the winning team. And he really dropped the ball, letting the guy get the free plant and eventually the round. And this is the round where we get to the funny clip that I kind of edited and added slow motion. Rambo Ray here, he's chilling. He eventually gets dropped, I'm pretty sure, if that was him. And Fariko, I think EnVyUs ends up getting the plant off here. And here comes a pretty funny clip. Here you wanna pay attention to this next guy standing out here. I forget which Fariko player it is. Parasite. Parasite. So the captain of their team. Pay attention to this guy, because he's the one that's slowed down slow motion. We got Rambo Ray camping. I just sped it up, and what? What happens? Did you see Parasite come around the corner? Oh, and Rambo's dropped. And that ended the round for EnVyUs. That really knocked EnVyUs off of their high pedestal, I guess you should say, giving Fariko the defuse and the 5-4 lead. And as I said, 4-4 is the round that you need to win if you really want this game, or else it is really hard for you to get your momentum back. You pretty much lose momentum for the rest of the game if you lose a 4-4 round, taking it to 4-5. And now that it is the final round of the game, I can tell you that EnVyUs does lose this match, but this is one heck of a round, alright? EnVyUs, I thought they were going to come back. You'll see why in a second. They'd take it to a 4-2 game, alright? Parasite with that kill and defuse did get his RC card, but this was not his RC card. This was Killa's, I think. Killa or Karma's called him his RC card. And yeah, as you could kind of hear in the background of the original commentary, Parasite still has his RC card. I forget if he uses it or not. But as much as EnVyUs does take this down to a 4-2 game, Fariko gets the bomb plant, which was the first biggest most mistake that EnVyUs could have let happen. They let them get the bomb plant off. And as much as this was a 4-2 situation, I think it was Killa that came up with that huge two-piece. And I said there was that one play the game earlier, or play the freaking tournament, that might have been Killa as well. But that might have been the second biggest play. And here we go. Proofy has to go for it. Proofy gets gypped. Alright, Proofy gets 2 shots on him and chases after him, gets him one more time, and he has to go back for the defuse. Just like I said, going back and checking the defuse, you have to do it. Fariko comes back, checks it because he has to, gets a nice butt crack shot of the Captain Parasite there, as Fariko ends up winning this tourney and $400,000. So thank you for watching. If you would, please, I really don't do this often in my channel, subscribers know that. If you would rate the video so people who did miss this could check it out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you would check out my other, subscribe unless you really like it because I want an active audience. I'll see you guys later.